Hey, what's up guys? It's Jason here, and in this video we're going to be walking through our F scale. This is the second scale in our video series on tuba and euphonium scales. So if you haven't checked out the G scale, I'd encourage you to check that one out first because there's a lot of great information in that. Like I said, today we're going to be working on our F scale, and before we dive in, we're going to do this in a couple different layers. We're going to work on our scale for those of you who haven't started working on F scale. So we'll start from the beginning with note names and all that stuff. And then we're going to work on playing the bottom octave, and then we'll work on playing the top octave, and then we'll put it together and play the whole scale. Now, a couple things before we dive in. If this is your first time playing the F scale, start off by working on the bottom octave first. If you're having trouble with the low F, invert it and start from the top and then go down and then come back up, and we'll do that in a second as well. As you start to approach the top octave, remember, like I said in the other video, the higher notes are not hard, they're just new notes. And as soon as you start thinking, oh my gosh, this is hard, this is too high, I can't do it, all those negative things, as soon as you start putting those into your brain, they are going to become true in your playing. And I find oftentimes when I start to struggle with range, the biggest problem a lot of students have is they're just trying too hard to play higher notes. So don't let that be you. These are just new notes. They're not hard notes at all. And to help you with those ranges, let's talk about how to play high notes real quick in case you missed that in the other video. There are three things we want to keep in mind as we play euphonium. We're just changing the air. So if we're going to play higher notes, all we're doing is changing the shape of the air. And specifically, we're talking about the size of the air, the speed of the air, and the direction. And think of those targets we talked about. So the low notes have those big targets here in the center of the mouthpiece. And then as we go higher, those targets get smaller and they come down towards the end of your mouthpiece to the cup of the mouthpiece. So the big notes are here, take up the entire target. Where those smaller notes, or those higher notes rather, are going to be the smaller targets, and we're going to fit the air right down the center of this tiny target. And that's the key to playing those notes. Big target. And you can see the adjustments here made in my embouchure. So all I want you to think of, so think about your garden hose as another example. If you want the water to go faster and further, all you do is take your thumb and you cover the end of your garden hose, right? And that's the same thing we're doing. We're just manipulating the nozzle of the air here. So with that, let's dive in to actual fingering. So let's start from the bottom. Low F, the first note is going to be fourth valve. And then we have G, 1 and 2. A, natural, second valve. B flat open. C, fourth valve. D, 1 and 2. E natural, second. F, open. So let's walk through that one at a time. Again with me. F, G, A, B, C, D, E natural, F. All right, so if you've never played this scale before, let's start off by working on our bottom octave. We're going to do this at 2 counts per note. So here we go. We're going to do half notes. And a 1, 2. Now, like I said, if you have trouble starting on that low F, it might be helpful to do a test note first. And so on. So you might test the note. If you're still having trouble with that low F, try starting from the top and coming down. So starting from the middle F. And if you're still having trouble with that, try doing it one note at a time without the metronome. Play the F, play the E, play the D, and walk down one note at a time. All right, so let's talk about the top octave. So the top octave, we're starting with the middle F, G, 1 and 2, A natural second, B flat open, C first valve, D open, E natural second valve, F open. Now, again, we're going to do this in half notes and we're going to work our way up. If you have trouble with this, do it one note at a time, away from the metronome, and then add the metronome back in. All right, here we go. And a 1, 2. And there you go. Again, if you're having trouble with that, if you're not keeping up with my fingerings, take it away from the metronome, do it one note at a time. If you're struggling with note names, go back and do note names alone. Or if you're struggling with fingerings, work on the fingerings alone. Isolate whatever your problem is, work on that, fix that problem, and then put it back into context with the rest of the scale. Now that we've got both octaves, you've got the bottom octave learned and the top octave learned, and you can do it slowly, one note at a time. Let's do it now in chord notes and start going a little bit faster. Here we go. And a 1, 2. Again, same as last time. If you're struggling to keep up with me as I play that, try slowing it down, try taking away the metronome. At the end of the day, your goal needs to be correct repetitions. The more time you do it correctly, the easier it's going to be to get faster and better at this. The goal is to limit the number of mistakes you're making. So if you struggled, slow down. If you can't do it slower, do it one note at a time. If you can't do it because you're messing up fingerings, make a note in your music, work on the fingerings, work on the note names, whatever it is you're struggling with, work on that one thing, make it better, and then put it back into context. All right, so this time let's go a little bit faster. This is 60 beats per minute. We're gonna do it just like it says in the music. So if you're looking at your scale sheet, we're going to do it in eighth notes, just like the scale sheet. We're gonna do 2 notes per click. Here we go. And a 1, 2. All right, again, 1 notch faster. Here we are at 80 clicks per minute. You're gonna have to bump your tempo up slowly, but here is your end goal, or a good goal for you to have when you're working your scales, is being able to play it at 80 beats per minute. So here we go. And a 1, 2. So there you go. There is your F scale. Hopefully you found that helpful. Remember, when you are practicing this, you want to correct repetitions. It does you no good to make mistakes and to do it sloppy. So if you're making mistakes or you're doing something wrong or you don't like your tone or whatever it is you're listening to and you don't like, make sure you do something different. If you're messing up fingerings, slow it down. If you're still messing up fingerings, work on the fingerings. Work on the note names. Whatever the thing is you're struggling with, make sure you tackle that one problem. If you're struggling with the back end of the scale, if you can go up the scale, great, but you can't come back down, practice just going down. Don't start from the beginning of the scale every time, right? That is the key to getting better, quicker, with less work, is to make sure you're targeting those problem areas and working on just the problems, and then put it back into context. If you have any questions on this, reach out to me or reach out to one of the band directors. We are here to help you in this time. Like I said in my last video, I will have more videos coming out just like this one to help you with all of your scales and chromatic scales so that you can use these when you're practicing for your end of the year auditions. So make sure you're practicing every day, keep working, keep trying, and I will see you in the next video.